It's a cardboard box. I wanted to show this. I've sold a lot of bits and pieces over the last little while and really kind of reduced my amount of stuff. And I've thrown away a lot of packaging as a result because I have to dispose of very little that remains. And I'm in two minds about whether to throw away this box. But it's quite an interesting one. One moment please. It is nearly 300 millimeters wide, 1 foot, 12 inches, 20 centimeters, 200 millimeters across that way. So it's 8 by 12 inches or 30 by 20 centimeters, and it's about 15 centimeters or 6 inches or so tall. And you can probably hear I've wandered off a little. It's, believe it or not, for carrying one of those. One standard 3.5 inch PC hard drive. And I haven't bought a standard 3.5 inch PC hard drive in a very long time, and I hope I never will buy one again. When they failed though, the manufacturers would often have you run some software on the computer, which would confirm that the drive was bad and issue you with a return to manufacturer authority, an RMA. And you could potentially take it back to the store where you bought it from, but I never did. And often back in the day, to buy things at a reasonable price, before e-commerce really took off, I'd go to sort of fairs where, even in sort of regional locations, there would be sellers from the major cities or nearby city turn up and sell things at sort of a competitive price. So this is how we did it. There was this layer of foam. This by the way, I RMA'd a hard drive many years ago, and it had to be packed in such a way that when it arrived, the hard drive manufacturer was confident that the problems with the drive were not caused during transit by the crappy job you've done at packaging. So the first time I did it, it was a whole big thing. When I got my replacement drive, I got a box with it from the manufacturer. I kept that box, and the next time I had a hard drive failing warranty, I used that box to RMA it, and so on. I can't remember how many hard drives I RMA'd over the years, maybe only 2. But this is not the first box that I got back. I have some memory of that. So the first thing is this, nice and very compressible because it's and then there's a cutout in there for the hard drive, and then in the bottom is another layer of this. And depending on, not all manufacturers did it, but I think Seagate had something called a seashell or something. It was like a plastic ribbed case that clipped over the drive. I may have one of those somewhere too. But I think this is designed just to hold a drive in an anti-static bag. I don't think there was space in here for a seashell. Maybe that's what that cutout's for. So you can go either way. I don't know, and I don't recall. But there is a shining artifact of the past. A cardboard box that I've kept for many years so that I could easily do a return to manufacturer authorization on some spinning rust, and have it arrive in packaging that was manufacturer approved or manufacturer created. And it was very useful. These things amongst my friends, we we'd give this to someone to use to send a hard drive back on the condition that when they got their replacement, which you invariably would if you packaged it in a box like this, there'd be no room for argument, and the software would have produced the relevant results that gave the authorization. You'd lend it to someone or give it to someone on the basis that when they got their new drive back, they'd give you the packaging. And around it went. Dark ages, I know. I mean, nowadays, you know, I mean, this is, I'm yet to install it because I got distracted, but that's 2 terabytes there in something that will also fit in that, which is framing, you know, not a great deal bigger than a couple of fingers, you know. And it's solid state. It's blindingly fast, and the data you write on first isn't, you know, at the circumference of the drive and therefore running at a higher data rate than the stuff in the middle given a fixed spindle speed and blah blah blah. I mean, I know that spinning rust drives are still used in sort of enterprise large volume storage, and I think recently Seagate came out with a 30 terabyte drive across, I think it was 10 platters, which is just mind-boggling when I think about the fact I have an Amiga here with a 52 megabyte drive in it. Won't be that long and I'll be at 52 terabytes. I mean, wow. That's like 6 orders of magnitude bigger. That's like heaps bigger. Anyway, an RMA box. You know, having done a little video on it, I might keep it. I do have a hard drive over here that is a loose one that I need to spend some time on. It was a 1 terabyte, is a 1 terabyte SCSI drive that came with an Amiga hard drive controller, and I need to know what's on it. All the rest of the spinning rust I have here, I mean, some of it's got backups and so on it, but if I lost all of them, it wouldn't be a really bad day. But that 1 terabyte SCSI drive with unknown Amiga content, which is not bootable either, it's all something, or it's blank, is something I do need to look after. I might hang on to it for a while longer yet.